Hi, my name is Kevin Callahan. This is the installment number 5 of Accessorizer Made Simple series, and we're going to cover using the 64-bit runtime and the LLVM compiler that allows you to not have to declare your IVARs so that they are generated at the runtime. So for example, here you can see I've got an interface file and some properties already declared. No IVARs are declared. Just so you know, in case you're not aware, you can generate subsequent .m file content, your implementation content, just from the properties. You do not need to have IVAR declarations. For example, I'm just going to select these properties. I'm going to bring that in through my defined Shift Option Command 0, which is my Accessorizer Action Panel service, and I'm going to do that twice because the first time, sometimes, Xcode is not reactivated. So I'm doing that, and I'm going into my implementation file. So I'm going to bring up my action panel menu, and I'm going to select number 2 via the keyboard. And as you can see, I've generated quite a bit of relevant code based on the existing properties with an empty .m file. Okay, so I'm going to undo that momentarily and move back. And I'm going to show you that if you would need to add more properties to this declaration file, header file, you don't need to copy and paste or write out these properties manually, because you always have to type out a type or a class and or an IVAR name in your properties. You might as well just temporarily define those right below your property collection. I'm going to drag these guys in for the sake of expediency. You can see that I've got a bunch of new temporary, what I call temporary declarations. I'm going to select those temporary declarations. I'm going to invoke my service, the Accessorize Action Panel service, Shift Option Command 0. By default, I have properties generation, or the declaration generation by default. I'm just going to paste over my existing selection. Notice that I did not move my cursor that time. It's because I purposefully wanted to paste over my existing temporary IVAR declaration. Now you can see that I've got an assign on that delegate detection, copy on that string, assign on the scalars, IB outlet. So we're inserted here, the keyword. The Boolean gets a getter defined as the is fast as hell getter. I also get the additional declaration method prototypes pasted in there as a result of my existing preferences that are in Accessorizer now that have defined those methods to be included. Now I just move over to my implementation file. I'm going to bring up my action menu, which is a status bar menu, through a global hotkey, keyboard driven, which is defined and not editable at this time. It's hardwired to Shift Control Command 0. I bring that action menu up. I need number 2, so I just keyboard number 2, and I get the results, plus I get the auto activation of Xcode, and I get the insertion at the Xcode insertion point. So the key takeaway here is that you can, if you're just working with a 64-bit runtime, you are just using properties and allowing the LLVM compiler to create your IVARs at runtime. Then you can temporarily define your IVARs like so beneath your properties, select them, invoke your service, and then paste right over, and then continue on. Thank you for listening.